Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I am Zach.
I am Jeff.
And today we're going to talk about board games.
Shocking.
I just realized I wrote down August 2nd for today's date.
Everything is ruined.
That's wrong.
Unless you've figured out some way for us to time travel.
Yeah.
Have you figured out a way for us to time travel?
Well, it's in pen.
So yes, that's what I'm hearing.
This is where I really wish that like this was the episode we were reviewing like time stories or some other time-based thing because it'd be a great segue.
Yep, ruined the segue.
God damn it.
But no, you'll just have to fuck up again later, Jeff.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right. Well, guys, it's been a week since we last gathered to record nonsense.
Almost to the day.
Almost to the day. What have you guys got? Have you guys gotten to play anything? Done anything interesting?
I played a lot of games.
I played a lot of games
Me too.
I played a bad game.
What did you play?
I played Oregon Trail, the card game.
I played that too. Now, okay,
It looked awful.
it was enjoyable to play, but it was not a good game.
It's not bad mechanics.
Yes.
It's interesting. It feels like Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
But the rules aren't worded out very well.
Number one question we got from the Oregon Trail when we were playing it, and people were asking, "Can you die of dysentery?" And don't worry, listeners, you can, but not in a good way.
Is there a good way to die of dysentery?
In the sense that you don't just pick up a card and you're dead. Like you don't get you have bad stomach problems.
Yeah, there's no warning.
There's no warning.
Happening.
Yeah, because you have a party. Is it 1 to 6 people?
1 to 6 players. You write down the name that you wish to be called by.
I was the classy Jennifer, a scant 15-year-old girl.
God damn.
Wait, did I say Gwennifer was the name?
Gwennifer
was the name.
Oh, even better.
And it was weird. She actually lasted to the longest both times.
You were by yourself at the end.
Yeah, freezing to death.
Yep.
And what was nice is when you die, you turn it around, like because you write on this little board with a marker.
Dry erase.
Yeah.
Yep.
You turn around, there's a little epitaph. You write something. So I just went Gwennifer because she froze to death. She let it go. Yes. Yeah.
I thought it was funny at the time.
Terrible movie.
I got bit by a rattlesnake.
You did.
And died. I was dick bit.
Dick bit.
That
Yep.
was my epitaph.
One of our friends drowned, and so that was Ronald the half orc. But that's his own thing.
Yeah.
And his was just all those years of swim team couldn't stop that waterfall. But like it was like usually like all the cards like there was like 4 cards that didn't fuck you over in that game. So it was really
Like
random.
Oregon Trail.
Yes.
You build a trail and you have to match ends, and then some of those have calamities. And the calamities was the least explained thing in the rule book.
Yes, the rule book was bad.
Because it was like, do this and then play cards. It's like there's no explanation on actually how to play cards.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to show everyone else what your supplies you have. And
The good thing about the game is that it was like 15 minutes long.
Okay.
So
Not long.
Not long at all. Because
you can get eliminated immediately.
yeah, you can literally the first card you play. Oh, draw a command. Oh, you got snake bit. You're dead. Okay. Well, bye guys.
Bye.
And it's player elimination. There's nothing to do once
Nope.
you're dead.
No,
You become the storekeeper.
Yeah, which is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just. But how much
Okay.
was it? Like $12. So
don't know.
whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
expensive.
It wasn't bad, but
It was out of stock.
Not good. That's for sure.
It was out of stock for a long time, and I was like, oh, finally there. And
Yep.
then I got it, and then I played it.
Gotcha.
If they come out with some better... The rule book is very pretty, as are the cards. They're all look exactly like
They're all
computer
8-bit
game.
style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well before 8-bit.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. What about you, Adrian?
So I played Roll for the Galaxy and lost. I played
In the World Turns.
something else and lost. What was the other? I don't know. I played
did you
another
get
game.
Captain Sonar
And then
in?
at the end of the night, and then I won at that because I am the best freaking sonar operator on the planet.
I mean,
I'm real good. I'm real good.
especially when the captain isn't the best. But yeah,
I'm still real good. I have yet to
you're
lose.
You're good at listening to directions.
God damn it. That backfired. But no, I still really enjoy Captain Sonar. I think it's a fun game. I definitely wouldn't want to play anything other than the Captain or Sonar, though. The other positions just seem boring to me.
I finally got a chance to play in that game. I was the engineer, and I was just like, I accidentally played on the wrong side, so it made my job a lot harder.
Oh, so you were on the opposite side of the...
Because he didn't realize they were different.
The top is the same.
Oh, that
but
wrong side. The wrong side of the player
bottom row, the player board is that one's the turn by turn one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one has a lot less icons on the bottom.
Yes.
And so we were breaking much faster than we should have.
No. So here's the thing: we only had to surface once, and we only broke once. I felt I was doing a good job, but anyway.
Well, I mean, it would have been
as
worse if we didn't sink you so fast.
Anyway, yes. I did not enjoy that near as much as the radio operator.
Okay.
And I don't think I would enjoy being the captain.
Okay.
So, but I also don't. I feel like it's a game I have to be in the mood to play. The more I've played it, I'm just like, I'm not like you where I'm like, I always want to play this. This is definitely not a game I always want to play.
Yeah, I could definitely see it starting. It'll probably get to be one of those games where I'm rapidly going to want to stop playing with new people. It takes a long time to explain, and especially a game night where people are drinking and talking and not paying attention. It can be a pain to explain.
Yeah.
And then it does, we were talking about this a little bit after the fact, it has kind of an issue where for the game to work properly, you really need to rely on the captains playing correctly.
Yes.
Like it breaks the game if one captain, even if it's not intentional, if they say, head east and they accidentally mark west,
Yes.
then the other team is just screwed. Like even if they're doing a good job and following along. So you really need to have captains that know what they're doing and do it correctly.
Yep.
And that can be hard to find at game night occasionally.
Can be. It can be. There's a lot of people there, but it's just one of those things, I think.
So
yeah, I think we need to make a house rule on one of the rules in Captain Sonar, though, because, like you said, people aren't playing correctly, and the other captain we were playing with kept saying stop over and over again and not being able to use powers because they were broken because they weren't checking with their engineer first, but they kept stop. Oh wait, hang on, continue. But they did it 3 or 4 times, and it totally messed up the game as well.
Yes, that's what I heard.
And I think the house rule needs to be like, if you say stop and try to use a power that you can't use, take a damage.
yeah, that'd probably be a fair house rule.
Yeah, I
I'd
could
be
see
okay with that one.
Or something like you have to be penalized 2 moves. I don't know. Maybe not that severe, but definitely something.
I don't know. If you try to use a system that's not working, it could damage your ship.
That's a good point.
It thematically makes sense
And
too.
it makes you be like, I need to make sure that my engineer can use
I can
this.
see it's either you take a damage or you have to surface or something like something like that where you're just
Delay.
like, it's not working. Why is it not working? We need to check over.
And maybe just trace one section or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun rules.
Yes.
But no, I do enjoy it when I play it, and I'll continue to play it. I'm not going to spend the $80 that it is right now on Amazon because it's super out of print.
Price.
But,
AKA 200% MSRP.
Exactly. But I'll continue to play it as long as it continues to be there, and we've got an interested crowd. I like it.
Gotcha.
So, and then over the weekend, I didn't really play. Actually, I didn't play all that much. I played Hanabi. We all played our review game.
Well, you and me played Hanabi and got fucking mad at each other.
Yeah, we weren't either one approving of the rules,
Yes.
the clues that the other one was
Well,
giving.
it also
Did you
didn't
play
help.
competitive Hanabi?
That was amazing. That was
I
amazing.
really want to play.
People who don't know, there was just a thread on Reddit, and it was just like, "What's the worst? What is the worst rules mix-up you've given up?" And somebody put, they linked to a previous thread where it was just basically a guy going, "Why isn't this working?"
Please explain Hanabi to me because
'cause-
I think we're playing wrong.
And they were playing competitively, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, you can't be serious!"
It's like, I just need to blow them up as fast as possible, right? Use
Right.
as many fuses,
yeah.
bad clues.
Yeah. It was just like the guy just kept discarding cards, knowing that they were going to blow it up, and everyone's like, "What?"
What are you doing, you
Yeah.
madman?
But the main reason was, so it is weird because 2 games in a row it happened, but different people. Adrian, 5 cards in his hand, 4 of them were 5s.
Yep.
And what sucks is because he had a 4 on top. He had a red 4 in his hand, and then he had a red 5 underneath here. And I told Paul a clue to be like, because then on my next turn I was going to tell Adrian these are red, and he would have known. But we had 4 clues, so I was not expecting Adrian to just be like, fuck it, and just get rid of our last red 4. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? We have clips. And he's like, no. And then we were just like, let's just start again.
Yeah,
and
we
then,
just scrapped that.
And then Paul had 4 fives in his hand at some point, and we're just like, oh my God, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
We actually pulled that one off pretty decently, though.
Okay. Except for that last time, which was completely my fault.
Yep.
They told me I had a 4, and I was like, ooh, a 4, and I just immediately play it, knowing that the 3 that needed to be played was in Paul's hand over here.
We got to play a rough game, kind of Aquios? Oceanos.
Yeah.
It was a little bit longer than it should have been because I was in the middle of cooking
Everything.
a roast,
You were in
and
the
the
middle of
Broncos
doing
game was
everything.
starting, and so I was doing a bunch of things.
Football.
So the Oceanos is a new game from Antoine Bauza, who did Seven Wonders.
I like Seven Wonders.
Yes, this is another drafting game, but it has a unique mechanic for drafting.
Yeah.
And so basically for this, if you're the captain, everybody else gets cards, and then they choose a card for them to take, and then all the discards go to the captain, and the captain chooses from those discard piles, or from that discard pile. And you have this little cardboard ship that you can upgrade to different components and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And you're
Do
basically
you put little tokens on the ship to upgrade it?
No, you replace it with new pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you have one that only has one periscope, which determines how many cards you get in the beginning. You can upgrade
multiple
it.
periscopes.
You get 2 and then 3 and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's really a lighter game.
Yeah. Because you would have 3 periscopes.
No. It'd probably take 30 minutes, like if people are actually paying attention to the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lightweight game that's definitely good for game night, for introducing people to games. Yeah.
Yeah, especially some different concepts like drafting and things like that. I liked it. I think the artwork wasn't necessary. Some of the artwork I liked. Some of it was not quite my style.
The main problem with the game is that like if you get a lot of upgrades in the beginning and somebody doesn't because of just the cards that they draw, it sucks for that person and it's great for you. That's it. Like that's the only problem. Like I remember I was able to get some upgrades really early, and like Paul didn't get me.
Yeah, I could easily see that having a runaway leader problem over time. Like if you get some good draws early, you can run away with that game.
Yeah, well, so you can try. There's little ways to mitigate that, but not as much. Like you can throw the Kraken cards to someone to try and make them play a Kraken card.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a fun enough game, and I got it for $30-something bucks. So
nice.
Yeah.
I remembered the other 2 games I played at game night. I played Fuse, which we won, which yay.
Hooray.
And then I continue to be just really bad at Splendor. So I lost again. But it was interesting
Your streak's as good as mine, but in the opposite way.
I actually wanted to mention this, and like it was something that I had in my brain, so that's kind of what brought it to my mind. I was playing, and this happens, I've noticed a lot of times when I play Splendor, not with you, Zach.
Okay.
Like when you're not playing. There will come a point about like 7 or 8 turns in where I'm like, oh, well, Zach would have already won, so we might as well just quit. Like that's my internal timer that like I feel like Zach probably would have won by now. So I'm still not good enough to beat Zach.
I had 9 points, and the game would have been over by now. So
Yeah.
That's good enough, right? Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not like you could just do that to random people. Well, guys, Zach would have won by now, so let's just quit.
I would love for you to try and 3 new people to the group. No idea, no concept of me, no concept of the game. They're just playing, and then all of a sudden you're like, meh, Zach would have won already, and you just start climbing. Like, what the fuck's going on?
guys, just wipe the board.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yep.
It's all over.
Welcoming my ass.
Yeah.
I also
Sorry.
played Red Dragon Inn.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was good. The people I played with had a lot of decks for it.
There's a shitload of expansions for
There are
that.
so many. Someone played as a bunny.
Nice.
So
The bunny
what
is broken.
Red Dragon Inn?
I don't know.
You have a meter. You have 2 tokens. One starts at 20. One starts at 0. The one that starts at 0 is your alcohol content. The one that's 20 is your health and goes down. So your alcohol goes up, your health goes down. And if they ever meet or pass each other, you are out. You either pass out or whatever. And you are in a bar as a whole bunch of different classes, and you are
like in a D&D universe or something like that, right?
Exactly. And you are drinking. And all the different classes are trying to win and gamble and drink, and you're giving people drinks, and you're playing against the inn as much as you are the other players.
Okay.
And then there's a little bit of a gambling mini game in there that you can do. It's like, hey, let's gamble, and then you all throw your money in.
Nice.
You're also out if you run out of money because the bar throws you out.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That sort of reminds me of another game, just real quick, called The Dragon and the Flagon. That was released by...
Yeah, Stronghold.
Yeah, it's basically sounds like a bar fight. as a game. So
yeah, there's bar fights that happen in the game.
this one has like a physical like tables and chairs and stuff. That, like it has an actual bar and like you're throwing things and stuff like
cool.
that. So yeah.
I would like to play Red Dragon Inn. I might borrow it and introduce because it's interesting.
If you bring it, I'll play it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's super light.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up what we've been up to recently. There's been some cool news, I think.
There has.
Yeah. Zach, what you got?
So when Gen Con came around and there wasn't an announcement for an Eldritch Horror expansion, people are going, what's going on?
Tradition has been broken.
Yes. The last like 4 years or maybe probably 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think that game's that old.
No, it's not. It's 2000. I want to say 12. But I might be wrong. Anyway, it didn't announce, but they did recently announce a big box expansion. It's supposed to come out, I believe, spring of 2017. And this is the Dreamlands.
Hooray!
And as it is a big box expansion, it adds another sideboard, which is the Dreamlands.
How many?
Shocking.
How many sideboards are in that game now?
3. You have Antarctica, Egypt area, and then the Dreamlands.
Is it
Wasn't there one
possible?
with the big mountains?
That was
the-
Antarctica.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it possible to actually play with all of those at the same
So
time?
technically, with the preludes, and if you're playing with a monster that uses it, you could use 2 of them
Okay.
at most.
All right.
But you're probably only going to use 1, maybe none. So it all depends on the ancient one you're playing with.
Okay.
And so this one, it looks pretty cool. It's going to add 8 more investigators, which I think brings it to, 52 investigators?
Oh, wow.
Either that or 40. My math, I was just vaguely doing it in my head. So we'll see if that actually adds up.
As someone that owns everything in Arkham Horror, that sounds less than how much I ended up with in Arkham Horror.
There's still more. They haven't finished Eldritch Horror yet.
Yeah, like there's a stack of investigators.
There's two new ancient old ones. There is Hypnos, the Lord of Sleep, and this is my first time pronounce Althach Nacha, the Dreamweaver.
I'll fetch.
That's like a spider thing. So, but it looks cool. I am going to immediately buy it, although I haven't played since I bought the last big box and small box. So we'll see if I get a chance to play it again before I add another copy. And I have it in 2 of the big boxes right now, my collection. Hopefully it'll stay in those 2 big boxes because I don't want to have to move it to a 3rd box.
My Arkham Horror is contained in 4 boxes.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. That's why there's so many of those awesome custom cases for that game.
Yes.
Is because
I'm glad I didn't buy any of the... I thought about buying the Broken Token ones after Strange Remnants got released. But they've already had another big expansion and a small, and now a second big. So I'm glad I did not do that.
Just buy the Broken Token that they recraft the whole box out of Broken Token.
Oh, so like I got $400 or whatever.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, $400, no problem.
No, I'm good.
Get yourself a VR headset or a Broken Token box.
Or, car payment,
Yeah.
You don't need to. You have VR. You don't need a car.
I'll just virtually drive to work.
Yes.
Although I only walk. So.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry. No shit. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
What news just got broken? Is it by Broken Token?
No, it's not my Broken Token. I just got an official tracking notification. Seafall will be here on the 5th.
On the 5th.
Wednesday. So this episode will release. We will be at game night.
Seriously? Wow. Okay.
I'm so excited right now.
I don't know what we're going to talk about for the rest of the episode.
I don't know.
You've blown my mind.
We have Seafall to play.
We do. So fuck Risk Legacy and Pandemic Legacy, right? We're just going to
out the window. Done. Everything else in my life out the window.
And we can just play Seafall in front of everyone because we don't have to worry about spoiling it for anyone.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, what is this? Oh, it's this heavy Euro. Oh, blah, and kill themselves right in front of us.
They just chug the Drano.
Yeah. I mean, we'll leave some for Adrian, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll just have the bottle there at the end of the table.
But yeah, so stay tuned, listeners, for us to gush about Seafall or be severely
we should do a
disappointed.
first impressions.
Or be disappointed by
everybody does first impressions.
Okay,
So
we'll do first impressions. Why not?
because I don't know about you guys, I like being a sheep. I like following
I was
people.
going to say, uniqueness is way overrated.
Yeah.
We'll just do what everybody else does.
You know
who's already
what everybody
successful.
else does? What works.
There you go.
Yeah.
Keys to
You know who was
success.
unique? Hitler. No.
I did play Secret Hitler. It's a fun game.
Great
I did
transition.
too.
Yeah.
And you were Hitler.
I was Hitler. This is the first time I was Hitler.
And I was bad guy. And I cost us the game because I legitimately played the wrong card.
We have fallen into a time loop and
Damn.
are now back at Banter.
Sorry. No. I was a bad guy and I legitimately played a wrong card. And I tried to play it off as that, but everyone was like, "Oh, you're probably a bad guy." And I was fuck because I got convinced everyone was good. Anyway,
Okay.
news.
Back to news. What's next?
You
Arkham
started
Horror.
this, Adrian.
Mine was breaking news.
Yeah.
It was actual news.
Oh, me losing a game isn't news?
No, it's not.
Seems like it'd be. Anyway, more news things.
Yes. What we got next, Jeff?
Dominion has come out with a second edition.
Oh.
I don't think it changes much.
So it looks like it changed a little bit. It was like wording on some cards. They got rid of some of the more OP cards, I think.
Or reworded them to where they're not as OP anymore.
Yes, that is true.
So is it just the base original main
I think
Dominion?
they did
or are they
one
gonna,
expansion. I think they're just going to start doing. They did Intrigue, was it?
I want to say yes.
so they're going to repeat.
You want to? Are you going to say yes?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
So
yes.
they're just going to repeat the entire.
I could see
everything.
that. They maybe
God damn.
they might like they had a lot of smaller expansions. They might like do bigger expansions that are like grouping up of them.
Yeah.
But people love Dominion, so they might just release all of it.
Maybe.
Why do you sound disappointed?
Well,
It doesn't seem like an addition change. It's
Yeah.
like an errata change.
yeah, it seems like a reprint errata change.
Were
Where
you
they're-
planning on buying
No,
Dominion?
I wasn't because I don't like Dominion.
Do you? Are you? Yeah. So it doesn't affect you at all.
It doesn't. It still feels dirty.
They changed the kingdom cards
Double dipping.
and then have
What
added
are kingdom cards? What is, I saw that word in kingdom cards. I don't know what that actually is.
I think those are the. I thought those were the scorecards. Like
I think that's the
point.
No, those
overall-
are state. Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I think those are overall like personal objectives.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
Yeah. And they're adding a seventh one.
Yeah.
Which
See,
is all new.
listeners, this is why you listen to us. Our unique knowledge of gaming and lack thereof.
Very in depth.
Opinions on
What does
not
this
really
mean?
sure.
I don't know. I've heard this word. No, I don't know. Let's just sort of go him and on hom.
So this says it's currently just Dominion and Dominion Intrigue.
Yes, I was right.
Yep.
Correct.
So,
That's what's
No.
important.
nothing on whether there's going to be more coming or.
Because I saw they removed 6 and they added a 7th or something like that, or they added 6 and I don't know.
They took all 6 away,
Yeah.
reprinted all 6, and then added a 7th.
Okay.
And then,
They made some changes to 3 of them, I think.
yes.
Okay. Is it still the same art?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's not the best art. I enjoy playing that game enough. There are more deck builders I like better.
I love Arctic Scavengers 1,000 times more,
I love Legendary Encounters 1,000 times more.
which I've only played Predator like twice.
What about the Alien?
Never.
What?
Never played Alien. Own it. I've owned it for a long time.
I'm disappointed in you, Jeff.
Yeah. It's only got shrink wrap on it.
I mean, I can understand the Predator one, but the Alien one, come on, man.
I mean,
We've
my
just never gotten around
Game
to it. I guess.
over, man. Game over.
my
Sure,
alien,
that's a card.
my alien is still in Shrink too, but I've played it.
You've played mine.
Yeah, a lot.
Jeff, you
It's
have
a
no
good game.
excuse.
Yeah.
It's a real good game.
I bought it because I wanted to play Alien versus Predator.
So Dominion.
It has a second edition.
Done.
It probably shouldn't be called an edition.
No, it definitely shouldn't.
yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know.
That seems like a
but
bigger change, but at least it's backwards compatible.
Yeah, I think they had an upgrade kit for it.
I did
so.
see that Intrigue they took out the base cards, so Intrigue is no longer standalone.
Okay, maybe it'll reduce the price.
Maybe.
So,
So
because I know Intrigue, a lot of people thought it was their favorite thing. So,
Ah.
was there any other news?
Essen's like 2 weeks away.
Yes, it
Essen's
is.
coming right up.
There's going to be
We're
lots
gonna-
of news.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
We're
it
gonna have
next
a
week.
nice list of some of our things that we're looking forward to.
More news is coming about awesome games that are going to be there.
I'm gonna lament
yes.
that I'm not in Germany because I
Maybe
want to go
next
to
year.
Germany. Probably not next year. Hopefully the year after.
2 years.
2 years.
That's like 2 years away. That's a lot.
It's a long time.
That's like half a World Cup, man.
in vaguely
One
interesting.
It's one half an
news,
Olympics.
Vaguely interesting. So the other day I shared with you guys a little bit of the blog from Jamie Stegmaier talking about Scythe and its return policy.
Yes.
So like I said, I read his blog somewhat regularly when the
Creepy.
topic looks interesting. He puts it out there. It's I'm going to take advantage. That sounds
Taking advantage?
real
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, I stalked him last week via
Yeah,
podcast, so.
I have no feelings towards
Anyway,
Stigmire.
anyway, vaguely interesting. He's been having
I will
some
stay
issues
the
apparently.
prescribed 100 feet away from him, like it has been ordered. No.
If it hasn't, it's soon going to be as soon as he hears this podcast.
Yeah.
Every week he listens to us.
No, there's
Not
God damn it. He is been having issues with Amazon fulfillment services, and so he is considering letting his current stock of games on Amazon run out and then no longer using Amazon.
I saw that was actually pretty weird. Did you read that at all?
I did not.
So basically, he would submit his games. So like originally what would happen is like for Kickstarter and stuff, Amazon would fulfill the shipment and it was cheaper for them to use usually. And then for the rest of the Kickstarter ones, they would actually sell them like via Amazon. But what basically would happen is a different retailer like put up a copy of his game and then they made changes to the game.
to the listing.
Well, to listing. So like from 3 to 8 players.
Oh.
Or it's from greater than games instead of Stonemaier games. And he saw that and he's like, that's weird. Let me just change. Oh, you can't change. Why can't he change that? It's only the retailer that originally put it in is allowed to change it.
Yeah. So even though he originally put it in because he's the designer and publisher.
Yeah. And I love that he was just like, my name's on the box.
Come on. And apparently he talked to Amazon for a long time, and Amazon was like, there's nothing we can do. He had to contact the retailer directly. It'd be like, hey, you need to change this. And he just ultimately felt like it was more hassle than it was worth. I did read through some of the comments, and somebody pointed out that there is like a thing you can do through Amazon where you basically register as like the person who owns the product.
Yeah.
And that might give you a little bit more control.
Just the fact that exists is really weird.
Yeah, the whole thing was kind of bizarre.
I know, was it Gil Nova? The guy who did the networks, he was having the same sort of problems too, so he might do that as well. So it could be a thing. Yep.
See board games falling off of Amazon, which as much as it would, make me sad because I spend a lot of money on Amazon on board games, and it's as much as I spend a lot of money on board games on Amazon.
Is that going to be easier to read?
As much as I approve of the 2-day shipping and everything, it probably wouldn't be the worst thing for like friendly local game stores and the rest of the gaming community if Amazon wasn't the best place to get a game all the time.
It's not all the time.
Not all the time, but I don't know. For me,
I rarely order games from there. Usually it's from like Cool Stuff or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Same here. Or my friendly local board game store.
You're what?
You do get up to Black and Red a lot.
I live close enough to where I can obsess.
I went over there on Friday too, and I went to see if they had the newest Bang the Dice game expansion, and then they're like, no, we have Ocean Nose though, and I'm like, that's out. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I buy that then.
And then you said like, oh yeah, I saw Cry Havoc there. And then I went to there today and picked up Cry Havoc mere moments before we started recording.
Moments.
Well, mere moments before we met, mere hours before we started recording.
That is very true. They don't need to know our process.
Anyway, Zach, there was a Kickstarter you wanted to talk about. I'm going to keep this train on the tracks as best I can.
Did we want to talk about the Scythe expansion? Because we totally skipped over that in news.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we go to the Kickstarter.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Last thing in news, Scythe's expansion has finally been getting some details.
Invaders from Afar?
Yes.
Okay.
Most important detail, does it have a release date? No.
Part of the emails that he sends out from the Stonemaier games has really cool timelines, like everything shipping, everything printing, and this one is currently a November 2016 release.
Okay.
Because it was
not too far off.
The box was at Gen Con, and you could look at it, and it's super cool that it's built into the board, and you don't have to worry about additional stickers or weird stuff going on the board.
That is true, yes.
Yeah.
I remember reading his thing talking about the expansions because he already had ideas for them, but he wasn't going to be able to create them until after the main game came out. So he went, I'm going to have these, so I'm going to go ahead and have them on the board versus having stickers. And so there are 2 new factions to that one, like a Scotsman type one and then like an Asian one. And they had some pretty interesting things like traps and flags that you put on the board. Obviously unique figures and stuff like that. They look pretty cool. I think it's supposed to be $30 MSRP for those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not the worst, but not the,
Yeah, each faction gets their own set of mechs and player mats and...
Zach, what did you just say you thought the MSRP was?
30.
30. Yep.
Okay.
It is. No pre-order.
And technically, this will allow it to play to 6 to 7 too, if people want. I think he still suggests 5 at maximum, but people want to do what they want. So this is America. Unless people are listening that isn't America.
Yeah.
In which case, it's not America. Well, it's America here. I should stop talking.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Couple new factions and stuff. And
Scythe is the new hotness.
It is the new hotness.
Yep.
Here's an expansion to the new hotness.
Right on. All right, so Kickstarters. Zach, there was a Kickstarter you've been kind of interested in, right?
Yes, it's called Pathogenesis. So this is by Jamie and Lauren Cunningham. Apparently they made a previous Kickstarter game called Transylvania Curses and Traders that was pretty well received.
Okay.
And this is basically a deck building game where you play as pathogens, bacterial variety, and you're actually attacking a human host.
Okay.
And so what actually looks interesting about this is when you play your cards, you keep them in play until they get destroyed by the immune system. And they actually have these icons that link the cards together. So you can actually sort of build a better pathogen in front of you that can fight the infection better and stuff like that. And it has these cool little links on them. And it seems pretty cool. It just, it's 100% funded now, or like 113% or something like that. So it's going to go through. I backed it a little while ago.
Okay.
It looks pretty cool. And also you can play it competitive, solo, cooperative, and team play. So it seems like you're going to have a lot of options, and you can, it has variable difficulty settings too.
All your bacterias can team up and murder someone.
Yep. Or you're trying to fight the body and kill it, but you also want to kill the other pathogens and stuff like that. So
be the ultimate in killing the body.
I'm always a big fan of scientific themes in games. Like the main reason I bought Compounded was it was about building chemicals and stuff in a science lab. I was like, oh, that's cool.
So they've got one stretch goal unlocked, and I'm a big fan of it. It's the Con Crud environment card. You've got Con Crud. So that's pretty cool.
Con crud. Like convention crud.
Yeah.
You got con sickness, people.
Thanks for explaining that, Zach.
Because when people go to conventions, it's a lot of people, and you have a chance of getting sick.
I didn't get sick this year.
Especially like shaking hands.
Me neither.
It happens to a lot of like famous people. And should I stop talking?
Yes. Well, absolutely.
No. Yeah. Their next stretch goal is petri dishes too, which is always good in a science game.
Definitely, especially one about viruses and stuff.
Almost mandatory.
I've got a Kickstarter that I came across the other day through Twitter that I am currently backing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick with it because my financial situation changed a little bit. But I think it's a beautiful game. And I really like, the thing I like most is this Kickstarter is like no nonsense. They basically outline like, here's your pledge, here's what you get. There's no stretch goals, there's no nothing. It's a very strict timeline. Like you'll have it by Christmas, and it's entirely made out of wood, which lends to the kind of pretty unique thing of it. But anyway, the name of that Kickstarter that I've been talking about is Druids, a beautiful wooden abstract game before Christmas.
2-player, right?
Yes, it's a 2-player abstract game. So kind of similar to like chess in theory. You play on a small little wooden grid with a couple pieces, and they move around and have kind of an interesting mechanic for how they take each other, and you can move different tiles around that represent different terrain that has different effects on the game. It's currently $50. Not currently. It is $50.
It currently is.
Currently and
future
is
price will
$50. There are only 17 copies left for the pre-Christmas delivery date, but he added a second pledge for a March print run. So if you're interested in it and you can't get it by Christmas, you can join in for the March one. It looks real pretty. The guy who designed it, he was also a designer on Cry Havoc. Okay. So he's got some experience designing major games.
And just for reference, the wood seems to be the same type of wood that is used in like Broken Token. Or what kind? It's like
birch?
laser. Yeah, it's like laser
cedar.
So
Birch or cedar, one of those two.
So if you like the look of those, you'll probably like the look of this too.
Yeah. It's also, I should note, not available to international shippers.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. If you're international and you have a US PO box or something, they can do it, but that's about it. So, but yeah, it's real pretty. And like I said, I really like the way they ran their Kickstarter. Like, there's no stretch goals, there's no nothing. Like, he designed he says in his little notes there, like, I designed a complete game. This is the complete game. This is all there is. There's not more. There's not less. You know.
Yeah, I can understand that. I wonder. I don't know. Just from looking through it, I wonder if it's going to get anything more than this Kickstarter, or if it was like if he's actually going to release it for sale and stuff like that.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think this is a one-off thing.
So this is a type of Kickstarter where even though there's no stretch goals or anything, it would be
good to Kickstart it.
Good to Kickstart it because you can't get it otherwise.
Yep. And he does also offer up right there on the Kickstarter. If you're a little hesitant, you want to try it first, he offers a full print and play right there on the Kickstarter. You don't have to back
it seems like a game that would easily be able to print and play.
Yeah.
So I watched just a 10-minute explanation about it, and it seemed legitimate enough.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to end up being able to continue to back it because my money situation changed a bit, but I think it looks real pretty, and I definitely want it. So, there you go.
There we go.
Do we have another Kickstarter?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't really kickstarted. Tiny Epic Galaxy's closed. It made $1 million.
It made...
Not literally.
No, it only made 400 and something. But what I found interesting is they released this statistic. It made 99.99% of the same funding of Tiny Epic Galaxies, the first one. And it's like, wow, it was like
pretty impressive.
$200 different or something like that.
Yeah, it was almost exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, with news and Kickstarter out of the way, I think we can move on to the meat of the episode. Mm-hmm. We've got the hotness Scythe.
Which we talked about earlier.
We've talked about a little bit. They're getting their new expansion and stuff. So,
which I finally played. Finally.
Yeah,
finally. Yeah.
With other people.
Yeah. So Scythe is, like I said, it's the new hotness. It's from designer Jamie Stegmaier, published through his company, Stonemaier Games, released this August at Gen Con 2016. It is currently ranked number 12 overall on BGG and number 6 in strategy.
And that is extremely impressive.
Yes,
it is.
Especially for that new of a game.
So quick, yeah.
It plays 1 to 5 players, takes approximately 90 to 115 minutes. And yeah, it's a bunch of fun. We've played it a couple times now. Zach,
we have.
Would you like to give a quick rules rundown?
My pleasure. All right, so Scythe is an area control, resource management, and engine building game with light combat. It takes place in a post-World War I alternate history where the war was fought with mechs provided by a mysterious factory that has since closed to its doors. So players control one of 5 different countries with specialized powers, which are further modified by individual player boards. The player boards are split into 4 sections, and each board has a unique mix of primary and secondary actions with variable costs. On your turn, you're going to take an action by selecting one of the primary actions and executing it and or the associated secondary action. And you may not do the same action twice in a row. Special icons are located around the board that will let you complete an encounter scenario. And there is also the factory, which is in the middle of the board and it allows players to take a 5th action and add it to their player board, and it is worth 3 hexes to whoever controls it at the end of the game. The game ends immediately when one of the players completes 6 different objectives. Players then total coins based on board control, completed objectives, and total resources. They apply popularity modifiers and add the total value of all coins to arrive at their final score. Whoever has the most coins wins, and that's Scythe.
Right on. So, Jeff, you finally got to play it. What'd you think?
I really like it. It's a great 4X Euro-esque game. Not really any randomness to it at all.
Not really, no. I mean, very little. There's a little bit in combat, and most just in terms of what cards you get.
Most
but
of it's
otherwise,
mitigatable.
Yeah.
And the encounter deck is randomized. And
I feel like you don't get too much from the encounter deck. Like, you're usually going to have to pay if you get something really good.
Yeah.
So it sort of balances itself out. I like the game too. But I don't feel like it's I saw on the board, they call it a 4X game.
No.
I feel like there's a little bit in exploration, but more in just name than actual, Twilight Imperium and stuff, you're actually exploring the galaxy versus just little icons that you're like, oh, we do this.
Well, I think even I think Twilight Imperium, depending on how you play,
that's
is
true
limited
also.
On exploration. I think of Eclipse. Eclipse really captures the exploration thing. You're moving into this space that's unknown, you grab a tile, you flip it, and that's what you found.
And then also you can't really exterminate anybody in this game.
No, you can't. You could really stomp some. If you really, really committed, you could maybe force them and hold them in their little island.
Yes. So sorry, Jeff, that we just immediately stepped over you.
There is a official FAQ with a question of why do you call this a 4X game?
Yes.
And he goes through and explains every single X on there and why it's a 4X game.
Okay, that's fine.
Which was interesting. I mean, the FAQ on it's really more explaining like design choices and stuff on the game more than rules and stuff like that, which is nice.
Okay.
It's a good game. I like everything about it, and it's hard to pick anything out that it's like,
So-
this could be better.
So let's start at the top here.
Okay.
General components, artwork, things like that. You know, Jeff, I know we've talked about this before. You backed the art collector's edition entirely because of the art.
Which was like the top tier,
The
right?
extreme top tier, absolutely, because I had seen news of this Kickstarter and I saw the art of it and I was like, I love that guy's art and I must have this game. I don't care what it is, how it plays, what kind of game it is. I need this game in my life. And I did the art connoisseur edition.
So who's the artist? I don't...
Jacob Brzezalski.
Okay, cool.
I've even looked at his art prints and I want to buy them and hang them up everywhere.
My favorite part of the game is the art. I will say that.
Yeah,
So,
it's fantastic.
it is.
Component-wise, I got all the realistic components. So all the little steel bars are like heavy metal.
They are.
The grain looks like grain, has a nice paint on it. The wood looks like wood. The oil barrels are plastic and
Look like oil bills.
and are blue plastic. Not painted, I don't think at all.
No, probably not. No.
Yeah.
And then also metal coins, too.
Oh, those metal coins are so nice. I love metal coins. That's why Seafall's exciting.
Have you played my copy of Tokaido with the metal coins?
I have never played Tokaido.
Oh, it's a good game. It's got metal coins. It's nice.
See, I base all of my game opinions on if it has metal coins or
Okay.
not. Mechs, every faction has their own unique character and mech models, as well as worker models.
Yeah, everything is.
I like
pretty
I
much
like
unique
that the
from-
blue guys are little gnomish dudes.
Just like the Vikings.
Yeah. The yellow ones have this like flat top thing that you can just make them stand on their head. Looks cool.
Just like
whatever their European
the,
based things were.
the steppes of Asia, I think is what they're supposed to be from.
I don't know.
But yeah, no. So this is easily my favorite thing about the game is the art and components, especially with the fancy resources and things. Man, the iron little metal pieces in particular, the fact that they're actually metal and have heft and weight is just fantastic.
Make sure you
really like
hand
that.
them into someone else's hand
Yeah,
so they
don't
don't
just
hit
toss
the
them.
board.
They'll dig in for sure.
Everything component-wise on that game is like a 10 out of 10.
It's
Yes.
top notch.
The player boards,
Real thick.
yeah, especially the actual player boards versus like the country.
Yeah.
The player boards are really nice, thick. The places where you put the wooden components have a nice little divot in there, so there's no confusion on where you put it. Those player boards are great.
And they stay surprisingly well. Like
They do,
you
yeah.
know, you have to really like knock them pretty good to get things to jostle out of place.
Yes, I agree with that.
You know, as somebody who likes to play Eclipse, good God, you look at that game wrong and everything's out of place. So
Oh God, yes, all those the little counters.
Yeah.
On the, yeah. Oh yeah.
Recessed
Recess
component
is great. Yes.
slots. More games should do them, but it's probably expensive.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
But that's not a problem for this Kickstarter game because it funded like 1 billion%. So
Sure. Yeah.
I'm just going to throw out higher and higher numbers.
I'm sure you are.
Keep up the good
One
work.
Googleplex.
So overall, I think the rule book does a pretty good job. There's nothing too fiddly or weird or hard to find.
No, and it gives you
real good player aids.
real good player aids that not only tell you your stuff, but other people's stuff too.
Yep.
So I know how your mech's can move, so I can be like, oh, I can put this guy here and not have to worry about you invading it.
Yeah. They even have on the back of the one player aid like a not sure what to do. Here's some suggestions for your first 6 rounds.
Yes.
Which I think is pretty cool, especially when you're trying to teach somebody new the game. Be like, yeah, if you get curious, kind of look at this. It'll give you an idea.
That is true.
There are a couple little things that if you forget to properly explain them or you miss them, it might mess up your strategy, like happened to both Paul and I on our last play.
Well, okay. So at the very least, I don't think it might have changed.
I don't think it would have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered
We
'cause you-
totaled it up with the full points.
And you
it
guys
didn't
were
matter.
third and fourth.
Yeah.
So obviously.
We had already blown you out of
yeah,
the
we
water.
blown out of the water. So
God damn it. Never going to play this game again.
One other thing about the rulebook, there's designer notes in it. It explains to you what his thought process was about making that rule.
That's really
which
cool.
is super awesome. Like, I made this rule because of this reason, and I don't have to go to some forum on Board Game Geek for him to talk about it. I can see it right in the rule book.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Go Jamie.
I mean, he seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
I love him.
God. Jamie, we're sorry for Jeff for so
Very
many reasons.
sorry for Jeff. Yes.
So many reasons. So overall gameplay, sitting around playing the game. What do you guys think?
You don't interact.
No, yes, I was surprised at that the first time I played.
You worry about your turn.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because of how fast the turns can go. Because usually you only have 3 options that you can do, unless you're that one faction that can choose 4. You can choose the same thing again. So, and you usually, while other people are doing it, you sort of know what you're going to do.
Right.
And so like, okay, well, I'm going to move, and then I'm going to do, and so unless you're physically interacting with somebody, I'm going to move, and then maybe you'll do stuff on the bottom. And then while
Technology.
doing stuff on the bottom, usually somebody else can go. And so I actually found that there, like you said, there wasn't that much interaction. You're mainly focusing on your board. And so it definitely doesn't feel solitary in terms of the game.
No.
Because if you're not paying attention to the people, you can totally bone yourself.
Yes, but in terms of what you were referencing about making sure something didn't get misunderstood, I might have caught, you guys building next to the same thing. Because, for this one, it was you had to build next to objectives and they can't be the same objectives.
Yeah.
And
which nothing on the
or
card
not objectives,
indicates
but
that.
no,
The
not objectives, but
encounter.
encounters.
Yeah.
If I had been more paying attention more to how you were building, I might have been like, oh, you could probably build, especially if it's somebody's first game. Like, oh, you could probably build it there and get a couple more points. But it's usually you said you'd build, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to focus on what I'm doing right now. Because so much of it is resource management, and you're like, oh, I need to get these wood so that I can build this building, and then I need to move so then I can it'll let me build do an upgrade.
Well, then especially when you get into mid and late game, when you have your enlistment, your people enlisted, because
Yes.
then like you hear me say build, you're like, oh, sweet, I get a popularity,
Yeah.
or now I'm getting an extra money or an extra card. So you're doing something else because of what I
Yes.
just did. So you're not paying attention to
Yeah.
what I'm physically doing.
I do
after
like
I
that there
enact
does
the
not
action.
feel like there pretty much unless combat is happening or someone's doing an encounter card, there's really no downtime because
No.
it's like, oh, I'll do this, and then Adrian, okay, well, I'm going to do this now, and then you're going to do that, and then whoever else is going to do that, and it's my turn maybe a minute later.
It is one of those games where, for myself, even only having those 3 options to choose from for my next turn when I'm thinking ahead, it's like, well, I could do this and then this and then this. I could do A, B, and C, or I could do, if I did it C, A, B, it'd be, I could do it. And there's a lot of possibilities and options that are, kind of going around in your head and how you can bounce back and forth.
One of my favorite things about this game, though, and I just remembered this, is that when you build resources, it stays on the board.
Oh, yes. So you can, if you don't spend them, it makes
Yes,
a
Your
target.
area control is controlling where the resource is mined, and then it stays there unless you move it away.
Yes, or you use it.
Yeah.
And so we had one, the last one where someone had like 7 resources and he just had a guy there. Did he even have a mech?
No, he had a mech.
He had a mech, but he had no power.
He had
And
zero power.
And so you're like, okay, I'm just going to walk in and take all your stuff.
All this is mine.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about
There
it.
was a lot of times when I was like, I was trying to figure out, I need to do this and this, but I had some guys that were within your mech range, Adrian. And I was like, if you come and take that, that's going to blow that out. So I need to make sure to plan
And
for
that's
something
where
else.
the way it doesn't necessarily encourage me to pay too much attention to what you're doing. I didn't notice that until like I finished my turn. You were like, "Oh, thank God you didn't take my resources," and I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
I should have done that because I should have done that."
So, 2 of the objectives is combat. So obviously they have combat in mind for this game, but you don't get any more points after those 2 combats. So usually you're like, okay, I'm going to fight once, maybe twice, but maybe it's because we weren't playing aggressively. Because some people I've heard have definitely played the game a lot more aggressively, that they don't really care about that. They want to take your resources. But I wasn't really worried that much.
Well, then I'm real curious. Both times I've played it, I've played with 4, and I'm curious at 5. It's not recommended at 5 on Board Game Geek anyway. It says it's best at 3 to 4.
Well, I thought it was recommended 3, 4, and 5, but then best at 4.
Yes.
Community 1 to 5, best at 4.
Okay, so community, yes, it is best at 4, and I played it at 5, and it feels a lot more cramped at 5. That is sure. That's why I would not play it with 6 or 7.
Which I feel like would drive conflict.
I can see that, but also when we played it, there's still one person decided just go fight everybody, but that person literally got like the lowest by a long shot, score wise.
Yeah.
But it's mainly like this one. We build a bigger empire than we sort of consolidated within that. This one was just like, we have 5 or 6 areas that unless we want to go and venture out and fuck with someone specifically, we're like, okay, I'm just going to sort of build my stuff here still. Like it still was not as aggressive as it could have been, or I might have liked it to be.
Yeah.
I got into 2 combats.
Yeah.
I won both combats.
No,
I got into more than
I think you got
2.
into 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe more. I don't know.
I think I got into 2 and I lost 1 and won 1. There is definitely parts in this game where losing, you're like, that's fine if I lose because
Yeah, it's not always
You don't
the
really
worst to lose.
lose anything.
Exactly.
You just move it back to your home base.
Yes.
The worst thing would be if you had resources. You could lose resources.
Exactly.
That's the only thing you have
And if
to
you had
lose.
if you had workers there, then you make the other person lose popularity. So it's not the worst thing.
You're
so.
killing our people.
Yeah. So overall, kind of, like gameplay wise, like while I'm playing the game, I certainly don't have any problems with it. Like I'm engaged. Like I said, there's not downtime. I'm not bored. I'm not like, fuck, I want this to end. Like I'm having a good time. I'm engaged. However, and this is kind of moving on into final thoughts here. I mentioned this after the first time we played, and it didn't still quite go away after the second. The second one was better overall. But it's one of those, like, both times we've played, it's taken like 2.5 to 3 hours. So it's taken longer than the estimated time. But I get done, and I feel like for everything that's in there, all the beautiful artwork, all the really nice, well thought out rules, the cool board, and like they talk about like the player starting positions are meant specifically to foster the right kind of, thought process and maneuverability and uniqueness of the roles and all that. For all of that goes into there, I feel like at the end of the game, I don't ever feel satisfied. It's like some games, like I get done, I'm like, yeah, like Twilight Imperium, I can get stomped in Twilight Imperium, and after Twilight Imperium, I'm like, yeah, I just, went through this whole thing, and like, yeah, all that was worth it. This one, it's like, well, we're done.
Now I have a question. Is any of that related to the very identified ramp up of the game? So like the first half of the game, maybe 1 or 2 stars get scored. But then the last fourth of the game, everyone is scoring like a star a turn. And it's easily being like, oh shit, it's ending now, and you might not be ready for it.
I don't think so, because I've never not been like, I mean, even in this last game, everybody got 5 stars down, and then it was basically weird to the point in the game where the next person to place a star ends the game.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I was like, like some games, like that's an issue for me with Splendor. Like I'll be getting like, okay, I'm starting to get my engine, I'm ready to go. I've got like 8 points, and then game's over. Wait, what? Like, how did you just double my score? It's not been like that.
Okay.
I haven't gotten blown out. They've been close games. Mm-hmm. I was right behind you in popularity. I wasn't that far behind in score. I came in tied for 3rd. It just shut up.
Spin
that loss as best you can.
Yeah, it was a frustrating loss. I won't deny that. But no, I don't think.
Okay, I was just curious because I
do notice that it does. It goes.
The end
it's
comes
slow, and then done.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know how there are a decent amount of games, literally like Splendor you just mentioned, where you're like, I finally got my engine building, and then we finished, and I was like, well, shit. I wanted to play at least a little bit full. Like at Pathfinder, Adventure Card Game, and all those.
Right.
So.
So, I mean, there's a difference between like a game like Splendor where the game ends and I've lost right as I thought I was getting my engine going versus like Pathfinder where like, oh, my guy's powerful. I want to do cool things with my powerful guy, but there's nothing left to do. It's a little bit different kind of thing in there, but yeah.
Well, I know there, obviously there's a little bit of difference, but still the same.
No, I don't feel like this one ends inappropriately early. Like I haven't gotten done with this game and been like, oh, I have, my army and system built up and I'm ready to start cranking now. Like I feel like it ends at an appropriate time.
Okay.
To be fair, I could have ended it at an inappropriate time, but I wanted to take another turn.
Yeah, it's true. He could have ended it.
I scored so many more points. Well, I don't know. I think
I scored a lot more points by delaying.
Yeah, and especially doing that combat too helped.
Yeah, taking the factory from me.
At the very end.
Yeah.
And then that was my last star, end of the game.
Yeah. So, and man, I wish if I'd somehow won, I would have gotten the last star, won the game, and I had 3 extra territory. That could have swung it for me if I had a way to win.
That would have been 5 points for the victory. That would have been 17 more points for you.
Probably would have
That's a
swung it.
crazy amount of points just for that one action.
Yep.
So, I definitely don't dislike the game. It's not going to be one, I can already tell it's not going to be one where I'm going to be like, hey guys, let's play Scythe. But if you guys are like, hey dude, we're going to play Scythe, you want to play? I'll probably be like, yeah, sure, I'll play.
I wonder how much faster it would play with people that you don't have to explain the rules to.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
A good chunk of both times, that 3 hours, a good chunk of it has been rule explanation.
I think we could probably get it easily down to that 90-minute.
Well, depending on the people, I would say at least 2 hours. I think 2 hours would be a good, So 5 minutes past the running time.
What are you guys' final thoughts? I just gave my big, long, rambling thoughts on it. What do you guys think?
More positive than yours, but I don't think it's a good game. I definitely think it's a good game. I don't think it's a great game, just in the sense that I agree with you in a little bit of, it feels like for all the cool stuff, all the cool components, and the board and all that stuff, it feels like it's not immersing me as much as I would like.
And I think that's the big thing. It's not immersive. I get into Twilight Imperium. I don't get into Scythe.
It's very Euro.
It is, yes. And as you know, I tend to go to Ameritrash games a bit more. I enjoy Euros, and I know you, but it is.
But I'm the opposite because I really like Euros. But like I mentioned after we got done yesterday, I was like, currently the way it seems like if I'm going to choose a game that I'm going to spend 3 hours playing,
it's going to be Le Havre.
Like at this point, I'd be going for like Le Havre or Caverna.
Your pronunciation,
Caverna.
Dude, I'm a couple bloodies deep right now. Cut me some slack. Caverna, something like that. Like, I don't know. Those games pull me in more than Scythe does for all of its amazing components and artwork.
I don't know. It pulls me in about the same. So, Jeff, what is it?
My feelings are hard to word.
Words, yes, they can be complicated.
We all struggle sometimes.
I love Euro games, and I love everything about the game, and I want to play it more, but I kind of feel like there's better games, but I feel I should like this game more, and I feel I'm missing something
and that is
about
exactly
this game.
I can understand that a bit too, and I know for me, when I'm playing the game, I am enjoying playing the game.
Yes.
It's a fantastic game to play.
But I don't get that thirst like I do with Twilight Imperium or like Eldritch or some of those other ones.
I feel there's something that hasn't clicked with me about the game that I'm missing that will turn this game into a 10 out of 10.
And that's especially when I see like how highly ranked it is on Board Game Geek, how far up the hotness it is, like how much people are raving about this game. It really makes me feel, especially knowing that I like a Euro game, like everything about this game, it should be a perfect 10. I want to play it all the time, and it's not there. So I feel like I'm missing something.
Do you think, especially with the Kickstarter ones, and I could probably in talking on my ass, but it's just some people are like, oh, it's a Euro game, but with like good components and good art, and
and that could be the thing. Like right now, I feel like I must be missing something, but I got to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game that doesn't have longevity. I feel
For
like
you?
I feel like in the hobby overall, I could see this being a game it's the new hotness right now until the next new hotness comes along, and I could see this. This isn't this isn't going to be a game.
I don't know.
It's playing it 10 years later.
Maybe. I don't know. It's still getting 12 so fast. There are a lot of people that really like this game.
Yeah, there has to be.
Yeah.
It's not just.
I don't know. We'll see. I guess time will tell.
I did have a question, Jeff.
Yes.
Not only did you play with us, you also played by yourself.
I did.
Like a loser. No.
Like the loser I am.
No, you played
no
the
one can
Autumn
play this
edition.
game.
Now, was this made by
totally different
Jamie.
designer on
Jamie,
the single player version. And the designer, I'm not even sure, is listed separately.
Like Automa Factory? Like I've heard that name before, Automa Factory, that I think made solo games for his games, like Viviculture and stuff like that. I could be lying though. I don't know.
I don't know. Board Game Geek doesn't have anything other than Jamie
Anyway,
Stegmaier
I'm sure
for
it's in the
designer.
rule book, or I'm positive it's even on the box.
Okay.
But there is a single player variant which you are playing against. It's a 2-player, so you're playing 2 boards. Mm-hmm. One is yours, and one is an AI that you can have, easy, medium, difficult, and insane. It's a deck of cards that has different orders for the AI team.
Okay.
That order will change based on certain icons on the Automa deck that will advance the card.
Okay.
So the AI doesn't have its own stars to score its own objectives. As if you play Automa cards that have a star on it, it just moves down the line. And when it crosses that path, it gets a star. And then it gets the ability to walk across water. And then it gets the ability to do this and that. And it opens up to where the Automa, as it doesn't use resources, it just sort of spawns things as you are trying to play the game using regular rules and fighting this thing. Like when it moves, it wants to move towards the factory. And then it wants to move towards an area of yours that has no combat units and only workers to try and take over areas. And it's like if then. It's all just computer controlled. After you get past a certain part, it goes from stage 1 to stage 2. It becomes much more aggressive.
Okay.
The AI in Scythe is extremely hard, even on easy.
Even on easy?
Because I was maybe had gotten 2 mechs and most of my workers out, had maybe 2 or 3 encounters, and it had dumped all its mechs, all its workers. It had like 11 spaces on the board, got water walking or whatever it's called.
River walking.
River walking, and had like gotten to the factory and mostly swarmed over everything already.
Do you think you would have done any better having played the game, like not solo?
If you want to play against the AI, be prepared to play multiple times because you have to. It's a very different game. You have to play against the AI versus playing against other players.
Okay.
You have to know the game and what, like, I need to be at this point before the AI is at this point.
Okay, so you have different strategies for it, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Which is awesome because that game, if you just want to play, it's a fantastic way to play the game.
Would you play it again?
The single player version?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And it's also a good way to learn the game.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you want to get your ass stomped in by a deck of cards.
Cool.
Yeah, and different difficulty versions. So if you finally beat the easy, you can get your ass stomped in by the medium one.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, Automata.
I might have to give that a try sometime. See if that sheds any light on something about this game for me or something. I don't know. Because
I feel at some point you're just going to be like, you just started like trying to climb that endless hill of like, there's got to be something here. Or at some point you just got to be like, it just may not be for me.
And that could be. Like I said,
I want it to be for me.
No, I understand. Yeah. So right now, good for you. You wishes it was better, or is it still a great game, just not the game that you were thinking? Like most amazing.
It's a great game. I am 100% positive on my purchase.
Okay.
Because that game's fantastic, no matter if it sits on a shelf or it gets played.
No, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
I think I want it to click, and I need to play it more.
Gotcha.
For me, this is definitely one of those games that I was aware of it during Kickstarter, and I had a couple other things I wanted to back instead. I backed those, passed on this, and I feel very confident in that decision. I don't think that if I owned it, it would get nearly enough playtime to justify the cost, and I don't enjoy it enough. I don't think I'm not ever going to really want to play this game.
You will play it, but
I will play it again, but I don't see me ever getting a hold of you guys and being like, hey guys, let's get together and play Scythe.
Unless we somehow are reviewing it again.
Exactly. A year from now, if we decide to do a look back, maybe we'll bust it out or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And for me, it's a good game, not a great game. I don't have anything really bad to say about it, like any faults. It just doesn't, like I said, it doesn't pull me in like I would like.
Yeah, same thing. So. I don't have anything really negative to say. Just it didn't blow me away. So
I can't say like this was bad about anything about that game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
So it sounds like we rated a solid meh plus.
I think meh, good, great. I think that's what it is. No. So that's Adrian meh, me good.
I think it's a good game. I do think it's a good game.
Meh plus from you. Then how about that?
Meh plus plus.
Meh plus plus. Good, great from Jeff.
Yeah. All right. So that's Scythe.
Solid rating system.
Solid rating system. Just right on the fly.
Good minus plus.
All right. So moving along from Scythe into our discussion of the day.
Components.
Today we're going to discuss components. Fittingly enough, considering that is a game with fantastic components.
Scythe has components.
It does.
Now,
most games do.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
If Jeff did not get the Kickstarter edition and he had the regular one with wooden pieces as wood, or like just wooden, I don't know exactly what they look like, but I believe they're just more wooden components instead of the really fancy resource components.
No. So honestly,
yeah. Do you think you would give it? I know you were looking forward to playing it.
Yes.
Do you think you would have been as much looking forward to it, and do you think your opinion would be around the same?
So this is where it's kind of interesting. No, I probably would not have been as eager to play it.
Okay.
Like that was definitely a huge thing for me. Is it's like this game is beautiful. I want to experience this beautiful game. So I probably wouldn't have been as excited to play it.
Okay.
As far as how it would have affected my overall enjoyment, I'm actually a little curious because I mentioned for all of the beautiful components, the beautiful artwork, all of that, it feels like there's not enough there. Whereas if this was more like a
Euro,
a
just like
simple
a base,
Europe with some wooden cubes, painted wooden cubes and stuff, maybe I wouldn't have gotten so caught up in like, oh, all this artwork must mean it's a really deep, amazing, mind-blowing game. And I'd be like, yeah, it's a good Euro. And I'd be more interested in playing it.
Yeah, I can see. Okay. What about you, Jeff?
I really wanted to get the realistic metal fancy components for Scythe because they looked awesome, but the metal coins add so much to that game because that's your victory points. And I couldn't see how... I feel that would add a ton to the game, and if it wasn't as cool, you could definitely be like a meh versus...
Gotcha.
Components added a lot to that game.
Yeah, I think for me, if I... playing with the very upgraded resources was nice. If I had first been introduced to the game with the regular components, and then someone's like, "Ooh, you can look at all these fancy ones. Have the metal be actually metal and have metal coins," it probably would not affect my enjoyment or lack of enjoyment of the game that much.
Yeah. The art and theme to that game.
The art is, to me, the most important part of that game.
Yes.
I would rather it all be just small wooden blocks. Yep. If I had to do that or get rid of the art, because the art on those cards is great. The art on your boards is great.
They're huge cards, and the majority of the cards are the art.
Yes,
with a little bit of text.
Yes, very much so. I think another game like that for me is Lords of Waterdeep, because I know they have these things called D&D-ples.
Yeah, I really want them.
Yeah, so Lords of Waterdeep, it has, for warriors and wizards or mages, clerics, and then rogues, it just has orange cubes, purple cubes, white cubes, and black cubes. Whereas the D&D-ples actually make them sort of people-shaped.
Yeah.
And for me, because I've played Lords of Waterdeep without those, adding those wouldn't make me go... seeing those... Even if I had the game, seeing those, I would not go, "Oh, I want to get that."
Yeah, that's fair. I know that for myself, like I've played enough games like Agricola and Caverna, where I've played both sides where they have just the little cubes that are colored,
right?
Versus when they have actual things shaped like the resources. And man, you wouldn't think it would make that much of a change, but for me, having the resources shaped like the resources, having little cow meeples and sheep meeples and whatever other animal it was. But yeah, and then, having carrot-shaped carrots and wheat-shaped wheats and things like that, it adds a lot for me.
I do like those too, but that's also because...
You played with them first.
That's how I played with them. That's how I played Cavernas with all those things. I'm like, oh, he's cool. So I don't know... But I think if I had played with the original ones first, I'd be like, it's fine. I wouldn't pay for it probably unless it was really cheap.
Well, and I mean, yeah, and I haven't paid for it yet. I want it, but if I'm going to spend $25, I'd almost rather get a new game than just get some more components for a game I already have.
I survived through the apocalypse that was round Agricola tokens. So
yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was real bad.
It's just the wooden discs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I've played that version before, and
is this wood or is this clay?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah, because it was like this is brown and this is slightly darker.
Okay,
brown.
in that instance, yeah, I can understand that if they actually cause confusion, yes, they need to be different. But like with the Lords of Waterdeep, you're not going to confuse black with white or orange with purple.
I feel like, and maybe I'll be mistaken, I would really like at some point, and I might end up buying them. They're only $25. I might just bite the bullet and get the D&D pulls. But I feel like a lot of times when I play, people are like, oh, give me 3 purple, give me 2 black, give me a white. Whereas if you played with the D&D pulls, maybe, people could look at the black and see that it's a little soldier guy holding a sword. And, okay, give me a warrior. They see the little mage in the robe. Oh, give me a mage. I need 2 rogues.
I hope you do get those. And so when you do, 1 orange, please. I'm just... 1 orange, 2 black. Now.
Just to spite me.
I think...
That's the name of the game. It's
also because of how abstracted that game is. Like, how removed they are. Like, you're not... I don't know. For me, it's always just like, you take these guys and you just put them over there. Like, you take these guys and then, oh, okay, I can play this card. The game itself is abstracted enough to where it doesn't really matter to me if they look like people or not, because I treat them like objects.
So in other words, Caverna is elevated to another level.
I care about that dog. Oh, those dogs?
Yeah.
I want them to go out into the forest and just go find whatever you want, little buddy.
Watch that sheep for me.
Exactly.
So
what happened to the other sheep?
So aside from components like that, although real quick before I move on, I was going to transition us, but before I move on, it's one of the things I'm really excited for with the new edition of Robinson Crusoe, is the fact that they're upgrading all those little colored cubes into actual resource-shaped resources, so that it's not like, oh, yellow is non-perishable and red is perishable foods, and that somehow makes sense.
So I've got bad news about Seafall.
Yeah, I know. We brought this up, I think, the last time we talked about Robinson Crusoe. I don't know. I might have to figure something else out about it.
Wrong. Yes.
It's Robinson Crusoe.
They are
You
very
said Caruso. Sorry.
tiny
Whatever.
cubes.
It doesn't fucking matter.
So it would be hard to replace the cubes in Seafall because they are quite small. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I can
We will
abstract it enough in my brain to where, like, since it's a game about boats and the age of sail, that they're
here's a cargo container of
There you go.
said material.
Exactly. So I don't know. We'll see when it gets here.
Anyway,
And once we
speaking
play
of
it.
Robinson Crusoe,
It's got
the
new
print
components.
with the
what, you were mentioning Seafall.
yeah.
because I said like how much I'm excited. That's one of the things that
Okay.
I'm most excited for.
I
with the
thought
new
you were going to
edition.
talk about the plastic ones, like just mentioning.
Oh well, yeah. So yeah, I don't like the way that the original Robinson Crusoe combined the wood and the plastic pieces. I felt sitting right next to each other, it's awkward.
I can't remember what was plastic.
Plastic ones were just used for
Marking things
mark
on the
a
board.
thing. And
Okay.
And like your palisade levels and your roof levels and
yeah, it did feel like I understood why they did that, just to be like, don't use these for this. Use it for their marking specifically.
yeah.
But just seeing the wooden ones and the plastic ones, they just felt weird.
having them side by side.
I don't personally think wood is better than plastic.
I do.
That's fine, people do. But it just felt weird to have both.
Yes. But moving on from actual pieces like that, sometimes components, is just as simple as like the card stock that they use, or for like deck builders, if the cards are good quality that they're not going to wear and rub, and show wear pretty much
Legendary
immediately.
encounters. That's
Is
my only
real
problem
bad.
with that game.
Gotta
I don't
save
know if the other legendaries are the same, but that card, I felt the first time I played that game, I was like, I'm already seeing a scuff mark the first time I play. So I had to spend $35, $40 to get sleeves for it.
Yeah.
Add another 20 pounds to that game.
That's true. And I ended up doing it because I made them all black, and so I think it works with the theme.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, well, crap. So yeah.
No, I do think that's a game that's improved by sleeves anyway, but it doesn't change the fact you shouldn't need them. Like,
No, yeah.
They're, for one, it's Upper Deck. Like, they've been making cards for decades.
And they know exactly how to make cards for cheaper for decades.
And evidently
I mean,
so.
it has 700 cards, so they're like, let's do it a little bit cheaper.
We can save a nickel, a sheet.
And I think the sleeves work better too, actually, because it gets rid of that legendary back, which doesn't fit aliens at all.
But or another example, I think we may have talked about this a little bit back on the show, but grifters, man, their card and the player board quality
player board
is
so
fantastic.
nice. It does.
And it's such a simple game, and there's not like I love the game. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's simple, whatever. But it's amazing how much just having like that nice feeling to the player board adds to a game.
The matte finish is
everything.
That's
everything.
Every card sleeve I get is matte finish because that's the only way I like sleeve cards.
Gloss is for
it is
plebeians.
I do think the grifters money things are a little bit too big. Not just because it's hard to fit into the box.
That's the only reason I think they're too big. Otherwise, I like having the big pool of money in the center.
I like that
really
too. I feel like 10% reduction fit the box and it wouldn't negatively affect the pile. So,
so another game like that, just a good example of how much components can really affect a game aside from its actual mechanics. We've played Skull with a deck of playing cards, and although it works in a pinch, it is not nearly the same as playing with those big, nice coaster colored, beautiful Sugar Skull cards that come in the actual set.
Not just because cards confuse people for some reason.
They do. Yeah, no, not just for that. Like, just that extra the art and having the big tile and discs and.
Well, it's nice because we always had, it was 3 black cards and then 1 red card. Oh, I flipped a red card versus, oh, it's a rose. It's a rose. Fuck, it's a skull. Like it felt. You just felt it for what it's just intangible, but just flipping a skull felt a lot worse than flipping a red card.
Yes, definitely. But
you need, that's why Skull. How long was that game out of print?
Oh man,
far too long.
It's like way more expensive than it should be.
Yeah,
but it still keeps selling out.
Totally worth it.
Yep, it's a great game.
It's a great game. Another game I really think that the art, especially on the components, lends to the overall feeling of the game and making the game worth playing is oh man, and it just went right out the other ear. Your World War I game.
Oh,
the Grizzled.
The Grizzled.
Oh, like the expansion?
I almost said Grifters.
Are you talking,
No, even the base game, like
the art,
the fantastic artwork on all the cards.
Yeah.
I feel like components and artwork go hand in hand. Like they're an intangible thing that doesn't affect the actual gameplay. But I know I would not like Grizzled nearly as much if it wasn't for that fantastic artwork.
Yes, I agree with that, but I think the expansion added these little figures that not only had a gameplay element, it helped people understand if you were still in or if you had left a lot easier than asking them. But it was nice to have all these little guys just sort of standing around.
Yeah.
They're all still in the mission.
Yes.
Well, he's out of the mission.
Yep.
Other components, I know we talked a little bit about, while we were discussing coming up with this topic, you guys both brought up that you really don't like paper money.
Paper money sucks.
Yeah. Not much uses it anymore, thankfully.
And I feel like it's just one of those things that it just reminds you of old games that
old terrible games.
Yeah, it's just like a touch reflex, and you're like, oh god, Monopoly.
See, maybe it's because I never hated Monopoly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I played Monopoly for like 10 hours once. It feels like someone who's treating it badly can just make it. Like if I ever see someone like crumple, I rarely see it, but sometimes like someone grabs things weird and it gets a crease in there.
Okay, yeah.
It's a component that can get ruined easily.
Yes, water will just mess it up.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fair.
But plastic, like cardboard tokens or little, like in Stockpile, the little plastic cards representing money, those just look so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, or like in Last Will, the little money.
Yes.
Cardboard chits.
That's fine. And it always feels unwieldy, and it's like I have to count out 10 to you. Okay, 1, 2, it's like sticking together.
Heaven forbid it behaves like real money.
Exactly. Or the worst is like when it's only one-sided too, and you're just like, it just looks bad. The only exception, in my opinion at least, is Millennium Blades. And the reason why is because they're called...
You like throwing fat stacks.
Yes. So it gives you paper money, but it tells you to put, I think it's like 16 things of paper money, and you put them in like 8x8. So because they're only one-sided, but you turn half of them around, so it looks double-sided.
Yes.
And you have this little tape thing you just tape around, so it looks like a stack of money. And that stack of money is 1. So if you want to buy something for 10, you throw down 10 sacks. Bam, 10, please. And it feels thematic too, because you are a professional collectible card player, so you're throwing down a lot of money for a card.
Yeah, because
that game sounds ridiculous.
It is. We still need to.
Money.
I've only played it once, and we were not ready for it. I need to play it again.
Prepared.
one of my friends keeps going, when are we going to play this game?
Is it Jared who owns
No, it's Pork Chop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that overall, a really, really great game can get by with not awesome components.
Yes. Like I think Caverna and Le Havre and a lot of those Euro ones, they have got a lot of good mechanisms in them, and I think that helps supplant the subpar art. And that's probably just me.
Because I know like some people like myself love the Uwe art, the Rosen.
It's
I like
fine.
it.
I just like some art. Like I love Blood Rage art. I love.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole nother level.
No, I understand. But after seeing those games,
Yeah.
I see those, and I'm like, oh, that looks weird. His face looks weird.
I don't necessarily think those are examples of games that get by on good mechanics with bad art or bad components.
I don't think it's bad art. I just think I feel like it's just more of a product of its. I don't want to even say a product of its time as much as it just feels like older game art.
Yeah.
That a lot of like Grifters has really good art. Blood Rage, the Networks. I really like that art. So it doesn't feel unique enough for me. It just feels like Euro art. I think that's what it is. I just look at it and go,
it's just dated.
yeah.
I think
Games
that's
that
the big thing,
have
dated.
style.
Yes. There's just one game that looks, every time I look at it, I think I'm looking at Le Havre, but it's not. It's like called Brendan Haven or something like that. Brendan Haven or something like that.
Huh.
That it's made from Lookout Games.
Okay.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, that looks like the same thing that Le Havre looks like.
Oh.
Because it's just a guy in a harbor holding the box, and he has a hat on, and I'm just like, that looks the same. I think I think all it comes down to is that it looks like Euro art to me.
Okay.
And yeah.
Is there a game that has been ruined by bad art?
Not that I've come across. I'm sure there is.
I think there is. There have been a lot of Kickstarters where I go.
Kickstarter's a whole nother game.
No,
yeah.
I understand that, but like those especially, I have to like a lot of the ones you're like when we're doing pre-show and we're like mentioning Kickstarters, you're like, oh, we could do this and this, and I'm like, oh, that art looks shitty, pass. Oh, that art looks shitty, pass. There are ones that just look blank.
Yeah, art will definitely make or break your Kickstarter.
Yes, I think that's one nice thing about them doing, like, especially what Fantasy Flight was doing with a lot of their re-releasing of games like Raw and Tigris and Euphrates, that like that new art for that looks really good.
I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to look it up because I'm not, at least based on the app from Tigris and Euphrates, it doesn't appeal to me.
Okay.
It's real basic.
The one thing that
The original.
changed an opinion on my love of the Star Realms art
Okay.
is when they started the artist or art designer for the original Star Realms base set changed from that to the expansions. And so it's got very similar art because they have the same artists, but everything from like blocking to colors, it's just weird and it's not the same anymore. And so when you add the expansions, you can tell like distinctly like that's an expansion card.
I can understand that. So one of the games I used to like, I'll still play it, but Smash Up. Mm-hmm. So, all the new expansions and stuff, like I liked how some of them looked. And then especially like the when they did the Munchkin one, but some of them, like, even though they're different themes, they all had the same style. Like you look at like the ant one and then you look at robots and you're like, I can still see something similar. Yeah. But once Munchkin came in and I'm just like, the art didn't feel cohesive.
That's because they always use the same artist for Munchkin. Zombicide has Munchkin characters.
No, I understand that.
I don't want anything to do with them. They don't fit the game.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is that even having different styles of art, if they don't feel cohesive, can take me out of a game.
Yeah, so like that's a good example. Like the Zombicides, the I don't think they did it with Massive Darkness, but the guest boxes, where they have guest artists design.
Some of them look really great.
Some of them look great and fit the theme and the aesthetic of the game, and then some of them are just jarringly out of place. And it's like, I don't want that in my game. And some people do, though. Some people go nuts for that. They don't care. I don't get it.
Those people are clearly wrong.
Yep.
So yeah, to go back to your earlier question, Jeff, I can't personally think of a game for me that's been ruined by bad art.
Yeah, I don't think I can either.
I know there have been some, but I just can't think of anything right now.
There are definitely, though, games that have been made by good art.
Yes, that is true.
Absolutely.
And then I just think, sort of relating to what we said last week, of just certain additions downgrading the components just make you go. Like, in college I played a game of zombies. You know, zombies!
Yeah.
Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Yes.
I played that as
one
well.
had it had like the tiles were like cardboard, and it was a fun enough game. We found pleasure. And then I remember when I got in Denver, I ended up buying a copy because I was like, oh, I remember playing this, and then it was just really thin paper. It was like
barely a playing card of thickness.
Yes, and it just putting it down did not have the same heft when putting down the cardboard. And then I was just like, and then also the game took 3.5 hours.
So I do. There is a game. I don't know if bad art ruins the game because I've actually never played it. But I will say that the lack of good art takes away my desire to even try. And that's almost any of the 18XX series. As somebody who likes
very agree with that,
good, heavy Euros and economic games, I like everything about that kind of stuff. But when I look at the 18XX games, man, they just don't look like something I want to play.
Especially some of the older 18XX games too. I've seen. I'm just like there was one about Martians, like the Martian thing, and it was just like this grid. I don't even. It was this mountain, but it looked like 80s style. It just looked bad.
So there are definitely. I take it back. There are games that I've seen that people rave about and are supposedly great games, but because the art's not there, I'm just not interested. You know, there's too many other great Euros, great economic games.
And I think that's a bit hard. So that's why it's a bit hard to go back to some older games.
Yes.
Especially because I remember the first time I played Cosmic Encounter was like the 1970s edition.
Oh, God.
And
Impressive.
and I was just like, oh, this game's fine. I ended up winning, I think.
That matters.
Yeah. I always like to say it when I do. No. But I was just like, I don't see myself playing this again. It was just too bad. It looks too bad. Everything is like these really thin cardboard. Everything's like white, you know, in that
Just
old
blank.
Yeah, well, it's like white with a little black. And then I ended up playing a friend of ours, like the the Fantasy Flight Edition. The new one. I was like, oh, this looks great. And then I played it, and I was like, oh, I didn't really like it anymore. They didn't have any of the components. I think I just liked that first one enough because I won.
Okay.
I got stomped in this other one. I was like, I don't really like it anymore. I don't like games I don't like. No.
No, I don't like Cosmic Encounter.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I think the characters, all the aliens, they look great.
The artwork's good.
I think the miniatures look great, or just little ships and stuff like that.
They don't look bad. They're a disc. They're a small plastic disc.
I thought they had like actual detail and stuff too, though.
A little bit. I mean, it's not much. It's a pretty simple mold.
Okay. Well, it still looks better than little cardboard discs.
Yes.
Okay.
This is true.
So shut
100% true. But yeah, so overall, to kind of wrap this discussion up, how much do you place importance-wise? How much importance do you place on art and components when you're evaluating whether you A, want to buy a game, and B, when you actually own a game, how much do art and components make you want to play it again, irrespective of actual gameplay?
I would say art is going to make me look at a game unless I hear really good, even hearing good reviews. First seeing the art is going to make me go, I need to look more into this. There's very few bad looking games that make me go, I should look more into this, even if I hear good things. And I think playing that really just depends on the game.
Okay.
And if I like the game, even if it doesn't have the best components, like Love Letter, even when all the stuff is just, I just played it to death and it had all of these just marks and stuff on it, and it's just little blocks. I love that game enough that it doesn't matter.
Right.
And I think that it can make good games better, but bad games, I don't think it can save them usually.
Okay. What about you, Jeff? What do you think?
Pretty similar to Zach. I'll pick up a game because the art's good. I'll buy a really expensive Scythe game based on art alone. But I usually read up on my purchases pretty well in advance. And even if some of the reviews are like, these components kind of suck, unless it's very detrimental to the longevity of the condition of the game, I'll buy it no matter what, usually, if it's a game I'm interested in.
Gotcha, yeah.
I think I'm kind of in a similar state, I guess, to both of you guys. Yeah,
Then what was the point?
I
of
know,
talking
right?
about
I
this?
was really thought we'd have a little bit more.
We all agree components don't matter.
Paper money doesn't affect me. There's my disagreement. I don't.
You son of a bitch.
It's okay.
Yeah. You want me to top off that Bloody Mary for you?
God damn it. Stupid Drano nonsense. But no, I definitely look for good art. I look for good components. I appreciate them when they're there. I don't go out of my way for them, but there is definitely a level that, like a minimum level of quality that needs to be there for me to have much interest in it. I won't say I'll never play an 18xx game because, if somebody really wanted to play it and I was there, I would play it. I've heard good things about the actual gameplay, but I'm not going out of my way anytime soon. I don't know.
I'll say one other thing too. I think also depending on if it's a established publisher or designer. So honestly, like for me, I expect a higher level of art and components when I hear of an Eric Lang game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or something like that. So if he just has decent art, it's making me gonna go, ugh. I mean, this only looks okay. But if that same art was in a newer opponent, I'd be like, it looks fine. So I think once a level of art or components is established, going below that is definitely not in your favor.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think that also sort of ties into what I said about zombies and then Acquire last week too.
Yeah.
Where once you set something, you should only go up or stay the same. You never go down.
Right. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So.
Yeah. Even to save money. But you save money, but I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
So.
You lost at least one sale,
Yep.
you sons of bitches. All right. Well, so that's been our discussion of components, art, game quality type stuff.
They're good unless they're bad.
Thank you for putting it so succinctly, Zach.
Boom. Yeah. Got it.
Most games have components.
Indeed, they do.
They do.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's what people come for.
Yep. So,
You heard it first. Games have components.
all right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening to our review and our discussion. We don't actually have an email to close out, but we do have some other big news.
An announcement.
And yes, since you have been listening so patiently for so long, hopefully this is worth the wait.
Hopefully it's
Should
worth
we keep drawing it out longer?
$20 to $30 to you.
$20 to $30. So we just with last week's episode, we crossed 1,000 total downloads, which
I thought it would take a year. I was expecting us the first time we did this to be like, once we release this, like we're gonna get like 10, maybe 15 people to listen, maybe over the first year. So the fact that we've actually had
That was some pretty low standards.
Zach is super
what can I say?
pessimistic.
I'm very pessimistic. But that also helps it because remember that one day where we didn't have any downloads and it looked like you're just gonna cry in a corner the entire day.
It was not that bad. I was not happy. But
it seemed like that. But we've had multiple ones that gone over 100 downloads.
Yep.
And I'm just like, that's crazy, and it's awesome that people don't hate us.
Yeah.
Or more than one person doesn't hate us.
Well, even the person who hates us, I don't think they really in their heart hate us. Whatever.
Then they'd stop listening to us. If
exactly.
They hated us.
Although they haven't emailed us, so maybe they did get fed up. Maybe we.
I don't know.
chased
We'll
them
see.
off. We'll see. But anyway, so we crossed 1,000 downloads, and I have no idea if that's like a reasonable bar, like if that's something to be excited about. Like
It is
scheme
for
of
us.
board gaming podcasting.
It is for us,
but
and
it
that's
is
what
for
matters.
us.
It's a big number.
It's like at least 4 digits.
Yeah.
So
Four
Six if you
integer.
include digits or you include decimals.
Yeah.
so to celebrate.
You wanted us to draw this out, right? That's what we're doing.
No, too far.
Okay.
Too far. No, but to celebrate this, we decided to do our first ever Mile High Game Guys game giveaway.
What? Hooray, alliteration.
The glamorous giveaway.
The glamorous giveaway. Okay. So we are going to be giving away a copy of the new Vlada Chvátil game, Codenames Pictures, and
Recently released.
Recently released. Pretty awesome game. I love Codenames. I haven't got to play Pictures yet.
I've heard people. So I think
somebody was playing it at game night, but
I've still heard great things about it. I think people that are more visually oriented are going to love this a lot more than the first one.
Yeah.
So
hopefully that's you.
you can also mix it.
You can
I want
mix
to try
them.
that too.
But anyway, there are a variety of ways for you to get your name into the drawing. There are 4 of them. Yes, which is a variety.
It is.
So the first way that you can get entered into the drawing to win a copy of Codename Pictures is to go online and send us an email. Our email address is emails@milehighgameguys.com.
I fought hard for that email address.
Yes.
Real hard.
Just have it be something of substance.
Yes, there needs to be some kind of a substance there. Introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like. Give us a suggestion. Something real. Don't just type fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
You know me from game night.
You can
Why are you making me do this?
You can still type that as long as you also say something of value.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
fine.
feel free.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's a way to get entry number 1. Entry number 2, you can go on Twitter, follow us at MHGameGuys, then send us a tweet. Again, something of substance. Don't just type 140 A's. Put some words and some thought into the tweet.
So like a 139 A's in like a space, right? That's fine. No.
Asterisk.
No, I said words. There needs to be words. No, tweet
Bunch
us.
of A's.
Tweet
A
us
is a word.
things you would like to hear us ramble about. I'm going to smack Zach. Tweet us something you would like us to maybe discuss. Things, game you would like for us to review or that you think we might like or hate or would be interested in, whatever. And that can be your entry number 2. Entry number 3, very similar. Go to Facebook at Mile High Game Guys. Go on there, like our page, comment on our page. Again, something of some kind of substance or value. You might be noticing a theme that we would like substance.
We just want
value.
something.
And then,
Do we have a MySpace page yet?
I got Friendster going for us.
Okay, cool.
Well, there you go. What about Google Circles?
Is that what it was?
Google
Google
Plus
Plus.
with your circles. No. Anyway, moving on. No, we're not going to get distracted. The fourth way to enter, because there are 4 ways. The fourth way to enter, immediately concluding editing tomorrow, right before I release.
When you hear this, how about
When
that?
you hear this, go on to Board Game Geek. We just finally got our podcast added on there. And in the forums for the podcast, I'm going to have a thread about the giveaway. Jump on there, introduce yourself. Again, something vaguely of substance. I just know that we're going to have some friend who's going to just la 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 la,
Yeah.
and I don't want that.
So you can enter in once on each of these. So
For
you
a
can
total
do
of 4 entries.
4 entries total.
Yes. And we are going to let this run for 2 weeks
So you will hear results on the 19th.
of October.
Yes.
We will mention this again next week, just kind of keep people reminded that there is a contest going on that they should
Hopefully
enter.
somebody will do something. I'll be like, please do something for us.
Doesn't no one? This one person wants Codenames Pictures. We're gonna have to give it to him.
Is that what you guys want?
by default.
Default.
It's gonna be MHGG Hater. He's gonna be the only
one guy.
fucking person.
That's fine. It's okay.
There's the one guy that's downloaded this podcast 1,000 times. It's all a long con to get our hopes up.
We start doing 20,000. And then we're like, oh man, we can actually do a convention or something. Sign up, all the tickets get bought, and they come in with one guy that just says, "Fuck you." And then
He's got a
walks
PowerPoint
out.
presentation how he did it. It's like this is how I completely fucked all of you.
Honestly, I wouldn't. Be
I have
mad.
no life. This is what I did.
I'm impressed.
Yep.
I can't be mad.
A whole wheel of cheese.
I hope he brings cheese.
Thoroughly ridiculous. I fucking love it. All right, so that is our contest. Like I said, you're going to have a chance to win a brand new, freshly shrink wrapped and shipped copy of Codename Pictures.
We had ideas for opened games that we didn't want to play anymore. But
Yeah, we could just give you guys our leftovers if you want.
I tried real hard to get Jeff to give away another copy of Legendary
Predator.
but he wouldn't go for it. So send him hate mail at jeff@milehighgameguys.com.
I now have my second copy I have yet to open.
Yep.
But yeah, so go ahead, get a hold of us, enter into the contest, and hopefully you can win.
So now they have all of our social media.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Feel free to contact us on all that stuff we already mentioned.
I will also post in the show notes on the website a run through of how to enter, where to enter, and what we're giving away.
Who to enter, why to enter. Yes.
Specifically who.
Yeah, all those newspaper questions that they always ask you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks for listening. We're going to cut this off before it just devolves further and further.
That happened like an
that
hour and a half
ago.
ago.
Yes,
Real bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for bearing with us through our second big, long.
Enjoy editing this, Adrian.
Yep. It's going to be a real late night tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. Go out, enter the contest. We hope to hear from you guys. And tune in next week for another edition of the Mile High Game Guys. As always, I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm still Zach.
I'm Captain Jeff.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. I think it's a trash panda.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I want a trash panda for a pet.
That's raccoon.
Yeah, trash pandas are raccoons.
You want a raccoon for a pet?
I just want to make sure
raccoons
nobody.
are awesome.
Yeah.
They've got grabby hands.
I thought we were talking about news.